I am Anil Kumar, and now in this video we'll go through all the steps required for writing equation of a trigonometric function from the given graph. Question here is determine the equation of trigonometric function from the graph. The graph, as you can see, is of a sinusoidal wave. So we could write equation for a sine function or a cosine function. So let me write both for you. First, to begin with, we will write y equals to a sine of, I'm writing a general equation, x minus p, where p is the phase shift, plus q, where q is vertical translation. I could also write equation in cosine. In that case, it could be like this, x minus p plus q with cosine, right? Now, for this equation, we need to find amplitude A, horizontal stretch or compression, phase shift, and vertical translation. Now, to get these values, we can find these values from the graph itself. Let's look into maximum and minimum first. Now, from the graph, we get that the maximum value is, let me use a different ink. So from the graph, we get that the maximum is at 1, correct? So maximum is 1, minimum is minus 5, right? Minimum is minus 5. And time period we can get from two maximums or two minimums, right? So that is the way to get the time period. Since we see that the scale is pi by 4 is one division, we can say 1 pi by 4, 2 pi by 4, 3 pi by 4, 4 pi by 4, or pi. So time period is pi for us. So that is what we can directly read from the given equation. Now these parameters will help us to find the equation. To find the amplitude A, what should we do? We will take difference of maximum and minimum and divide by 2. In this case, it is 1 minus minus 5 divided by 2. 1 minus minus 5 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So amplitude is 3. To find vertical translation, that's the average value, right? So maximum plus minimum divide by 2. Now maximum, as you said, is 1, and then we have minus 5 divided by 2. That means minus 2. Now time period is pi, therefore k should be equals to 2 pi by time period t. So let's write 2 pi by pi, and we get value of k as 2. Now it's question of finding the phase shift. Now these parameters are exactly same for both sine and cosine function. However, phase shift is different. As you know, sine waves are waves which are kind of like this. Well, let me draw both like this first, and then we will see which one is sine, which one is cosine. For a sine wave, they always start from the mean value and rises. As far as a cosine wave is concerned, they start with the maximum, correct? So if I have to write the sine equation, I have to sketch the vertical axis, which in our case is minus 2. So I'll sketch it minus 2, right? So that is the axis at minus 2. And locate a point from where the sine wave starts. Well, that is where it starts. So there is no phase shift, correct? So the sine wave in this particular case could be written, here phase shift is 0, right? It just rises from the axis. Okay, so we can write our first equation as a sine equation. So let me write this here as y equals to a is 3 sine k is 2. There's p is 0, so I'm writing 2x. Is it okay? P is 0 plus q is minus 2. So let me make it minus 2. That is how you get your sine function. Now for the cosine function, it starts with maximum. That is the maximum, and as you can see, the maximum is at pi by 4. So there is a horizontal translation or a phase shift by pi by 4 to the right. So I could also write this equation as 3 times cos of 2 times x minus pi by 4. Since that is the phase shift, right? minus 2 as my cosine function. Do you get the point, right? So that is how you can get two equations representing the graph. Now as an exercise, what you can do is find two more equations, right? And then figure out how. You could use this point as your reference and write a cosine function with negative, right? Similarly, you could also use this point for writing sine with positive, right? Or you could use this point, sine with negative. So there are many options. So try to write two more equations for the given graph. That should help you to understand it better. Thank you and all the best.